Hello, hello. Welcome back. Uh-oh. The Edmonton Oilers get shut out against the New Jersey Devils on Monday Night Hockey on Amazon Prime. So I was mentioning in the last video, if you don't have a Amazon Prime account, you cannot watch the game. So I picked up a 30-day free trial there, so I watched it. Not a lot to see if you're an Oilers fan. I just knew when Henrique hit the crossbar and then he stopped Jake Allen stopped Hyman on a basically a partial breakaway. I just felt the Oilers are not going to be able to score today. Right away. If you've ever played hockey, if you've watched enough hockey, sometimes you can't score. It doesn't matter what. You just know you're not going to score for some reason. I don't know what it is, but definitely that was going on in yesterday's game. There was some sort of magnetic force around the net every time the Oilers were shooting. A lot of people said it was a bad game for the Oilers. I felt they had a lot of chances myself, but I mean, we're just not able to score. This is I think the third time we've been shut out in 13 games. So, having said that, let's get to some stats here. So, Oilers outshoot the Devils 31-16. Again, just no puck luck whatsoever. This has been an unfortunate trend for the whole year. Just can't put the puck in the net. 16 shots by the Devils. Again, I felt that the Oilers could have made this game a lot closer, but for some reason they just can't score. Devils go 1 for 1 on the power play. Oilers continue to struggle on the power play, 0 for 1. Hits 19-5. 19-5. 5 hits the whole game. That's insane. That's insane that an NHL team only dropped 5 hits in an entire game. Like, that's got to go up. That has to go up. Blocked shots, 14-9. Tons of giveaways from the Oilers, at least this game, 19-12. So, unfortunately, just not a good game for the Oilers. I mean, if you're a Devils fan, you're probably happy, but you're not going to win. You're not going to win every game in the year. But the Oilers had a ton of chances today, and they just couldn't finish. I don't know what it was. As far as the Amazon Prime kind of presentation and everything, I didn't mind it. They had a lot of nice shots of the city during the presentation, which was nice to see. Hope they didn't zoom in too much on further east of the arena, because that area is getting out of control. I don't know if anybody's driven by there lately, but oh my god, it's getting rough out there. So again, those were the stats, and I just want to kind of touch on a couple of things. So here's their schedule from the beginning of the year. So first game against Winnipeg, you get shut out 6-0. Second game, you only score 2 goals. Third game, you score 1 goal. You win against Nashville, you pop in 4, and then you only score 1 goal against Dallas. And then you lose to Carolina in overtime. Only pop 2 goals in. You shut out Pittsburgh. You steal a game in Detroit, in my opinion. And then only 1 goal against Columbus. You take out Nashville, you take out Calgary, and then 0 goals against New Jersey. So what is that? That's 1, and then 2. So they've been shut out twice. I thought there was one more there. That must have been ours against Pittsburgh. So they've been shut out twice. They've only scored 1 goal. I think they scored 1 goal against Columbus, and they scored 1 goal against Dallas, and I think 1 goal against Calgary. Yeah, so 3 games they've scored 1 goal, and 2 games they've been shut out. So with this offense, I mean, I know we're missing McDavid, but I don't know if you told me at the beginning of the year the Oilers would be scoring 0, getting shut out, and scoring 1 goal in 5 games, that I would not believe that. But that's kind of where we're at. It's the offense has to get going. There needs to be secondary scoring from the 3rd line. And from the 4th line, it's just not happening enough. I know we're getting goals here and there, but it's just not happening enough. RNH has to pick it up too. So it's just one of those things where, I mean, you're not going to win a lot of games if you can't score. That's basically it. So the Oilers are now 6-6-1. So, I mean, it's not panic mode time again. McDavid's skating again, so that's a good sign. I mean, getting him back is like adding 2 all-star players, in my opinion, to your team. So we're missing him, but at the same time, with or without McDavid, we shouldn't be getting shut out with this top 6. It's crazy. So, and the physicality, they gotta start hitting a little more. They gotta get more engaged. They've been undefeated when they fight. So, I mean, I don't know if that's, something that needs to happen a little more often, but they're not engaged in these games. 5 hits in 1 game. They had another game, I think, with 9 hits in the whole game. It's for a veteran team, again, it's not something you want to see. But unfortunately, that's where we're at. And then let's just check out some stats on some of our boys here. So, I mean, as soon as you get past Ekholm and Bouchard, I mean, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 5 points in 13 games. Zach Hyman, 4 points in 13 games. Arvidsson, 4 points in 13 games. Perry's on the 3rd line. We're not expecting too much from him. But, Podkolzin's now had 2 games on the top line. He's still at 3 points. Henrique, 1 point, 1 goal and 1 point, 13 games. Connor Brown, so many chances, just no luck. So the boys got to figure out a way to score. I'm not sure exactly what the solution is going to be, but the way it's going right now, I mean, you run this over 82 games, it's a squeaking into the playoffs situation, which, for us diehard fans, just can't happen. So another kind of thing that came on the Amazon Prime broadcast was we got to hear from our general manager at the intermission. So we're going to take a quick look at that and just kind of see what he had to say. So let's listen in to, I put it a little bit forward to the part that was most interesting. Everything else was, more about, him and his past and all that, which I said from day one, like, we don't need this on our team. But anyways, I moved it up to the part of the interview where he is asked about Broberg and Holloway. And I know I've talked so much about this already, and I know, for all of us Oiler fans, this is a tough subject, but he's straight up asked in this interview, and I'm sorry, like, we haven't had enough, clarity on exactly what happened and why this happened. And just listen into this.
We're going to have them here for a long time.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about a few weeks into your new job here, and Doug Armstrong, GM of the St. Louis Blues, offer sheets 2 of your guys in Broberg and Holloway. What was that conversation like, and are you sending him a birthday card anytime soon?
No more cards, no more gifts for Doug. No, Doug's been a friend for a long time. He's a great colleague of mine. Of course, it was a challenge, and you were surprised and in the moment frustrated. But once we got to work, we realized it's all part of the game. And no hard feelings. And I
don't know what you got to work on, because you should have been working on that in your first 2 weeks here. You had a chance to do it. I wouldn't consider him your friend. And to us Oiler fans, again, this is a fan channel. Like, we don't have to, we're gonna say what we feel. And again, I feel that a lot of the things that you talk about when you see someone around town wearing anything Oilers, and you shoot the shit about the Oilers. Every single Oiler fan is upset about losing both Broberg and Holloway to offer sheets. And this guy comes in as the GM, and it's like nothing happened. And I think the number one reason for our struggles this year so far are because of those 2 damn offer sheets. That's what it is. And as a general manager, I think you should have answered that a little differently and just cut to it, cut to the chase. No, I'm not going to send any, any more birthday cards, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Just, but give us some clarity. How are we in a better position? We're not in a better position. And as a general manager, with the Edmonton Oilers fan base and their hockey smarts, you can't just slide that by us. We want an answer as to what exactly happened. Let's go a little further on this.
I like where we ended up. Of course, they're great players, and we wish them well, but we like where we are now, and I think it gives us some flexibility this season.
Like where we are now, we're 6-6-1. We can't score. We need defense, and I don't know. I just found that to be, again, no clarity, no transparency, nothing. We just have to wonder exactly what happened still. And our current media still hasn't really given us answers as to why they made that decision. It makes no sense. Why are we going around looking for defensemen and doing all this stuff when you have a 23-year-old stud? Why would you do that? Why? And Holloway, he's producing, like, we're missing speed. That's what Holloway gave you. We're missing hits. That's what Holloway gave you. We're missing a D man that can play the right side. That's what Broberg gives you. They're 23 years old and 22 years old. You could have kept them on your team for 10 years. Why do we care so much about our draft picks? Why do we care so much about our draft picks if you can't manage to keep every single first round draft pick from the Ken Holland era? Why do we watch the draft? Why do we get so happy at the drafts? Why do we buy their jerseys? Why do we follow them? Why do we cheer them on? Why do we check on them to see how they're doing? Because those draft picks are our kids. They're our kids. And you just let a number 10 overall and a number 8 overall draft pick. You know, I could be wrong on those numbers, but they're both top 10 picks. You develop them, and you just mismanaged it all the way. And then you get asked about it, and you're not in a better position. I don't care how you tell me. I don't care what you say to me. You cannot explain to me how we're in a better position with them not on our team. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, pretty boring game if you're an Oilers fan. The Oilers drop again, get shut out. It's crazy. It's crazy that we can't score. But that's pretty much it for today. Want to remind everybody that we are on Twitter/X. You can follow us at Frozen Oil Hockey. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you to please consider subscribing. And that'll do it for today's episode. Thanks for watching. And most importantly, go Oilers, go.
Frozen or hockey, the channels you need. Oilers on the ice, unstoppable speed. Chasing the cup, we're gonna succeed. With David leading, we're built to exceed.
Frozen or hockey,